Please leave my job. I have to go.
She told deputies he later stole her gun. Then there's this, a log showing Williams on her doorbell camera more than 20 times in one night.
That right there is Shantae Butts, a mother of 4 standing outside her own job and begging her ex to leave her alone. She was not filming for likes. She was filming because she was scared, and because deep down she already felt like nobody was coming to save her. Watch what a reporter said happened just days after she posted that.
I am not okay with this. Please leave my job.
She did everything a woman in her position is told to do, and it still ended with her own little boy on the phone with police while a man she once loved stood over her. Before we get to that night, you have to understand who these 2 people were, because the warning signs in this story were not small and they were not sudden. They stretched back more than 10 years, and other women had already lived through them. Shantae Letitia Butts was born on February 5, 1993 in West Palm Beach, Florida, and she came up in Belle Glade, a small farming town out in the Glades where everybody pretty much knows everybody. She graduated from Glades Central Community High School in the class of 2011, then went on to Palm Beach State College and earned a certification in early childhood education. By the time she died, she held a Class G security license and was working for St. Moritz Security Services. Sit with that for a second because it is heavy. This was a woman trained and licensed to watch over other people's safety, and she still could not get anybody to protect her own. Her people called her Shay Shay, and the ones who knew her described a loving, strong mother who left behind a legacy of love and precious memories. She was raising 4 kids, a son named Kamar, and 3 daughters, and the man listed as the father of those children is the same man this whole story is about. That is what makes it so hard to hear. This was not a stranger in the bushes. This was family, somebody who had a key to her life for years. His name is Little Mac Williams, a longtime Belle Glade man in his mid-40s. Him and Shantae had one of those on and off relationships that dragged on for years, falling apart and coming back together, except every time it came back worse than before. And here is the part most people in her community did not fully know until after she was already gone. Shantae was not the first woman to go through this with him, and the paper trail on him is long. Watch how the news laid out his record.
Some women, me, I'm putting myself in that category, make it okay for niggas not to be shit. About that, we'll get with somebody who we know ain't shit, right? Just go through the motions, just being in our relationship because we so happy that somebody love us. But we can just love ourselves if that makes sense. Take care of the household, do what we gotta do, because in reality, we just not feeling like we housing a nigga. But in reality, we housing a nigga. And from the outside looking in, it looked like he's helping or contributing because your life is still going on the same way.
3 different women, and a pattern that goes back more than a decade. Back in 2014, an ex-girlfriend told deputies he barged into her home, punched her, choked her off her feet while telling her, "You belong to me," and raped her. And for all of that, he pleaded guilty to felony battery and served just 36 days. In 2018, a different ex said he kept showing up and messing with her security cameras, and he got 59 days for trespassing. Then in 2023, yet another woman said he struck her in the head, and that one got him 2 days in jail. 2 days. Each time, the system got a good look at exactly who this man was, and each time it let him walk back out with barely a scratch on him. Those old cases matter for one more reason, too. All those felonies stacked up meant that under the law, Williams was a convicted felon who was not even allowed to touch a gun, which is a detail you should hold on to because it comes back around in the worst way. Then it was Shantae's turn to become one of those court records. In July of 2024, she called 911 and told deputies Williams forced his way into her home, put her in a chokehold until she could barely breathe, kicked her more than once, and took her phone so she could not call for help. And he only ran off when her daughter saw him. Listen to how that case ended, because the number is going to sit with you.
Reality, you up in that bitch screaming to the top of your lungs because every time you turn around, the bill keep flying past that bitch. You gotta catch it. You gotta be the bill catcher. And the motherfucker just sleep. He may be contributing to your life, but he ain't contributing to your bills in reality. Because you so hell bent on doing for yourself, or, oh, I been paying my bills. Oh, I ain't gonna let no nigga pay my bills. Oh, this and that. No, bitch, let him pay half. That bitch halfway contributing to all your motherfucking problems in your life. Just don't choose no bad niggas. We'll get with some niggas that we feel like, oh, they good for us, and in reality, they ain't shit. Because from the outside looking in, when you was looking at him before, he was with another bitch who was the boss. So she was handling all the way. And in reality, your ass sitting on the other side in that damn green pasture thinking that motherfucker, he doing. And in reality, it's her money who funding the trips. It's her money who paying the bills.
157 days. That was the most time he ever served for putting his hands on her, and along with it, a judge signed a no-contact order telling him to stay far away from her for good. That order was supposed to be her shield. What it actually turned into was a piece of paper he would ignore for nearly a whole year, right up until the night everything ended. And through all of it, she was still just a mom trying to hold her life together, showing up to work, raising 4 kids, leaning on a big family with deep roots in the Glades. When she was buried, her viewing was at Butts Memorial Chapel, and her service was at First Baptist Church in Belle Glade. And her old classmates from Glades Central and her co-workers filled the guest book with the same kind of message, over and over, that she was kind, that she was strong, that this never should have happened to her. Keep her in mind as a whole person as we get into the next part, because it is easy to turn a woman like this into just a headline, and she was so much more than that. The no-contact order barely slowed him down. Almost as soon as he was back out, Williams was right back at her door. In October of 2024, he was arrested for violating that order after Shantae reported he would not stop trying to call her from private numbers, and a witness saw him banging on her door. And he served 48 days. Barely a month later, in November, she called 911 again after he broke into her home, took her phone, and fought her for it while pushing her around. That felony charge got knocked down to a misdemeanor, and he pleaded guilty and did 66 days. Over and over, the same thing happened. He would hurt her, do a short stretch, come home, and start again. And she kept right on reporting him for harassment, stalking, threats, and busting up her property for nearly a year straight.
It's like it's your money that's paying for your trips and your money that's paying for your motherfucking bills. What I really, really hate, the dumbass bitches that be like, oh, she just saying that because he not with her. Bitch, is the reason why he ain't with her. See, me, I don't think I ever been in denial about nothing. One of them hoes that just be put up in the house and don't know what the fuck going on. See, I know what the fuck going on, but I am what the fuck is going on.
She was not just talking either. She was building a case with her own hands, documenting him on her Blink doorbell camera, filing report after report, and even packing up and staying in a hotel and heading out to Clewiston at times just to get some distance and feel safe. This is the part people miss when they judge domestic violence victims from the outside. Shantae was not sitting still and hoping it would pass. She was following the playbook to the letter, doing the exact things survivors are always told to do. And then came the first week of July, when the whole thing boiled over. That plea you saw at the very top of this video, the one where she is standing outside her job telling him to leave, that was part of this same stretch. She posted that clip of him waiting at her workplace to Facebook, letting the world see in real time what she had been living with in private, which is about the loudest way a person can say, I am in danger and I need this on the record. It started with him at her window. On July 2nd, he banged on her bedroom window and asked if she was missing her firearm, a straight-up taunt about a gun that had just been stolen from her car. then demanded to be let inside. 2 days later, on July 4th, he came back banging on her doors and windows, and she was so afraid she grabbed her son and left the area to Clewiston just to feel safe for one night. Then, July 5th became the day it all came to a head, and the receipts on that day are hard to look at.
Nah, you ain't gonna never get your shit to fucking together. I said I wake up every motherfucking day not knowing how to be no motherfucking mama. But do I say, oh, I can't be a mama today, I'm not stable enough, and throw the cover back over my face? No, bitch, I get up and I try to motherfucking be a mama every motherfucking day. So you ain't finna...
More than 20 times in a single night, all caught on her own camera. That same day, her Blink camera pinged her that he had walked right into her home while she was gone. He turned up outside her job, standing across the street, and he called her from a private number threatening to do something to her at her house. When she went back to grab something, he ran at her yelling, and she had to jump into her car, lock the doors, and speed off, nearly hitting him as he stood in front of the vehicle. She drove straight to work and called police with, in the deputy's own words, a tear running down her face, telling them she believed he was going to hurt her again. That day, deputies finally found probable cause and put out a warrant for aggravated stalking. Watch what happened with that warrant.
Just ask y'all a question. When y'all come up to me and tell me about my nigga cheating, do you really think I be hurt? He cheat, I cheat, we cheat the motherfucking killer, bitch. Thing, you got a match? This person right here, loving to death, sweet as can be.
6 days, the warrant sat there and he was never picked up. And in that window, he was still free to do whatever he wanted. On the night of July 11th, 2025, just before midnight, deputies rushed to her home on State Road 715 in Belle Glade after her young son called 911 and said his stepfather had broken in through a window wearing a black hooded sweatshirt. While that little boy was still on the line, dispatchers heard a man's voice in the background demanding, "Where is your mama?" And right after that came the gunshots. All 4 of her children were in that house. Deputies got there and found Shantae unresponsive from multiple gunshot wounds, and her current boyfriend shot in the chest, though he survived and made it to the hospital in stable condition. One of the children even described seeing Williams straddling her and threatening her life. They found Williams outside, lying face down in the road, and he gave up without a fight. A neighbor who ran over said she asked him where Shantae was, and he reportedly answered plain and cold that she was dead. That same neighbor went inside, kept the 6 kids in the house away from the bedroom so they would not have to see it, and tried to help the wounded man breathe until the medics came. She said the look on Shantae's face was one of pure shock, like she never saw it coming. Inside that room, detectives recovered a handgun magazine and shell casings. And remember, this is a man who by law was never supposed to have a gun in his hand at all. When detectives sat him down, he tried to spin it. He claimed he got into a fight with the other man in the house and the gun just went off, denying he ever shot Shantae at all, which is a story that lines up with none of the evidence, none of the children, and none of what dispatchers heard. Here's how the charges landed.
Let's just say he was found to be my brother, my little brother, because he's 24. So when my daddy found out he got another son, it's a boy. So I expected him to be like, oh, yeah, excited about having another son, because he kept saying, oh, I got all these daughters, and my mouth flipped. So you already know, I feel like he needed another son. So I was real excited about having another little brother. So I'm just staring at my ancestry, and I realized something is wrong. This match is too motherfucking high. Granted, my little brother said he didn't know who his mama was. So here come Detective Shay, standing up all night long trying to figure out who his mama is, because the match was too high. So I knew it had to be somebody in my family. So all night long I'm thinking like, either this my long lost brother, or it's like somebody in my family.
Williams was booked into the Palm Beach County Jail and at his first court appearance ordered held without bail. As of the latest reporting, there is still no trial date and no plea deal on record, so nothing here is settled in front of a jury yet, and legally the case still has to be fought out. But the bigger question hanging over all of it is the one Shantae's people keep asking. How does a man rack up this many convictions against this many women, break a no-contact order for almost a year, have an open warrant, and still be standing free in her doorway with a gun? Part of the answer is uncomfortable, and it came straight from the top prosecutor in the county. Listen to how the state attorney described men like Williams.
Done had a baby with my daddy. I'm up all night playing Inspector Gadget, just trying to figure out who the fuck, what they when, where, and how this shit could have occurred, because at the end of the day, it's just weird to me. And I'm figuring out that my daddy fucked my auntie Annette. Give a fuck, because we all grown. They was fucking, and they made a son, which I'm grateful for my brother, but it just made me throw up immediately. So I called my daddy the next day, y'all, after I cried about it, because in my mind, I was already over it. Get to telling him how I found a boy, he's my brother. He said, yeah, I know. Oh, this, and that. So I asked him, do he know my auntie?
Frequent flyers. That is the term for somebody who moves through the system again and again without it ever really sticking. He explained that these cases are some of the hardest to win, partly because a person's past cannot always be shown to a jury, and partly because victims are so often too scared to stand up in court against the very person who terrorizes them. Watch him lay out the real problem.
Hey there, how you doing? It's Shay. Yeah, your daughter. How you doing for today? I had a question. Do you happen to know somebody named Annette? Oh yeah, I know somebody named Annette, I think. Well, that was my mama's sister, and they said my mama looked like my auntie, so I think you got confused because Michael's mama is Annette. Oh no, they ain't looking like to me. See, your mama, she was bald-headed and fat, and Annette, she was slim and fat. Bitch, my mouth dropped. So you know Annette, my auntie, right? Oh yeah, I knew that was your mama's sister. So at this point, I'm looking at my phone like, this nigga don't give a fuck. And I just hung my phone up because that shit ain't make no sense. I'm tired of having my brother cousin is. I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna get my brother cousin on you, bitch. You ain't got one of them. You got a brother cousin. You ain't got one of them hoe. And sometimes I wonder how my auntie Annette feel when she was fucking my mama man.
The hardest part is that Shantae's story is not one of a kind. It rhymes with another one from the same county, and once you hear it, you start to see the pattern is bigger than any one man. Back on November 8th, 2023, a 34-year-old mother named Fridaline Daniel walked into the Boynton Beach police station and told officers her ex was stalking her, that he owned a gun, and that she was scared he would kill her. Her ex had actually followed her right to the station and was sitting in the lobby while she reported him, which means the crime was happening in front of the officers. Instead of treating it like the emergency it was, a lawsuit later filed by her daughter says the officers struggled with her accent, made light of it, spoke to the ex like it was a breakup he could smooth over, and sent her on her way. Less than an hour after she left, her ex shot and killed her in the parking lot of her apartment complex, and he later told detectives her going to the police was the final straw. The officer was suspended for 2 weeks and ordered to do 120 hours of extra domestic violence training, and the wrongful death lawsuit her daughter filed against the city is still being fought, with the city trying to get it thrown out. That case is a precedent, not the same case, and the differences matter. Daniel died the same morning she reported over one failed encounter at a police desk, while Shantae was failed slowly over a whole year of reports. But the ending was the same. 2 mothers who asked for help and did not get it in time.
This hard as an Adam apple on a nigga or a punk. Fry my chicken to old ass grease. I just can't believe it.
Hello? Oh, man. It's my birthday, bitch. It's my birthday, hoe. What you said, bitch?
Shantae's family did not stay quiet either. They spoke with reporters after the arrest and described her as a mother who was loved deeply by her kids and her community. And they said what they wanted was justice and for people to actually pay attention to domestic violence before it gets to this point. That is the whole reason a story like hers gets told, so that the next woman standing outside her job with her phone out, begging a man to leave, gets somebody to move faster than they moved for Shantae. That is what ties this together. Both women saw it coming, both women said it out loud, and both women were killed by an ex who could not stand to see them free. Shantae Butts, trained to protect other people, documented her own stalker better than most detectives could and warned everybody who would listen. None of it was enough to keep her alive. If you are watching this and you are in something that looks even a little like what Shantae was living, please do not sit on it, and please do not go through it alone. Tell somebody you trust and reach out to the National Domestic Violence Hotline, which is free and open all day, every day at 1-800-799-7233. Share this with the one person in your life who needs to hear it, because it might be the thing that gets them out in time. Rest in peace, Shantae Butts.